that it takes on a man when he is the sole pastor and leader in a church, especially a church of any size. And I saw the toll that it took on my father, and I didn't want to bite off that, to be honest with you, Dan.
And especially if the church also on top of that has a wrong view of the role.
Right, yeah. Just makes for a miserable existence. And to be honest with you, 80% of the battles I saw Dad fought was over poor leadership within the church. If there'd been strong leaders in the church, there would have never been a battle to begin with. So I didn't want any part of that. But when I began to see a plurality of elders, I began to see how God intended for this to be, and began to see the benefits of a shared eldership. So what are some of the benefits? Well, it guards against dictatorial tendencies. I see some of you thought the diaconate was supposed to do that. But it guards against a man coming into a church and taking over the church as the pastor and running the church as he sees fit without any checks or balances to make sure that he's doing it according to thus says the Word of God. So it guards against dictatorial. It balances people's weaknesses. Guys, y'all have known me long enough. You know I've got weaknesses. If I didn't have Dan to balance me out in those areas of weaknesses, you would be in a lot of trouble. And vice versa. That's the beauty of the plurality of elders, is that it balances people's weaknesses out. It lightens the workload. See, I never could figure out how a man could preach 3 times a week. Didn't make sense to me, because I knew it took me 30 hours to prepare one sermon. And, you know, allowing for improving with practice, I still couldn't see 3 times a week. You understand what I'm saying? It's wonderful to be able to share the workload of the pulpit ministry. And I think the result is that you are fed better than if one of us was doing all of the preaching. You're the beneficiaries. And we benefit too. We benefit tremendously from not having to bear up under the load of that responsibility 2 and 3 and 4 times a week. It provides accountability. Big one. Big one. If Dan sees me going off and doing something stupid, he'll hold me accountable. You may not even know about it, but Dan will hold me accountable, and vice versa. It provides spiritual continuity for the church. Guys, do you understand the importance of that? The church at Crossroads should never, hear me, the church at Crossroads should never have another pastor call before Christ returns. Now, only those of you who understand some of the wars that's going on here can appreciate what I just said. But if we properly practice and exercise a plurality of elders within the body, what happens if one of us dies? There's already men there leading. What happens if one of us errs and makes shipwreck of our lives? There are already others there who are leading. And the continuity of the church carries on. Guys, one of the things that kills churches, that absolutely kills churches, is they're swapping pastors out every 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they can never get used to the sound of the voice of their shepherd. Therefore, the church is constantly having to start over and start over again and start over again. You see, right, yeah, after a while everybody throws their hands up and it becomes a mere formality or a social club. But the point is, God's purpose for the church, and there being a plurality of leadership within the church, guards against that and gives spiritual continuity to the church. And that is beautiful. I shudder to think what things would have been like if it had been that way for the past 30 years here at Crossroads. It would be a different scenario, no doubt. So, that will conclude our look at